Wendy Williams, love her or hate her, what her ex-husband has done to her, we can all admit, is disgusting. Wendy was a good wife to her lying, cheating, narcissistic husband, and all he did was cheat, take all her money, and spend it on his mistress, and continues to do so. Kevin Hunter is the man who's been doing Wendy so dirty, and it's hard to watch. Wendy actually knew for a while that Kevin was spending all of her hard-earned money on his multiple mistresses while still married to her. She clearly loved him too much and knew that he was cheating, but tried to pretend it wasn't happening. Wendy eventually lost the plot due to finding out Kevin had spent her entire fortune on one of his mistresses. After Wendy spoke out about this, Kevin, her now ex-husband, is apparently out here defending himself on Instagram Live. The news that Wendy Williams was filing for divorce from Kevin Hunter came out back in April of 2019. Some of Wendy's fans were really happy for her because they could tell that she hadn't been happy for a long time. Meanwhile, other fans started investigating what was really going on behind the scenes, because Wendy had said not long before that she would never split from her husband and loved him so much. She had also flaunted her massive ring around.
Very much in love with my husband, and anybody who's been married for 5 minutes or 500 years, you know, marriages have ebbs and flows. Marriages are not easy. Don't ask me about mine until you see this gone. And it ain't going anywhere.
Well, you know what they say, money doesn't buy happiness, and a ring certainly doesn't mean anything if she doesn't have her husband's heart. Wendy was married to her now ex-husband for over 22 years. That's a really long time to be together, and also really sad that he did her so dirty like that. But we know it gets even worse than just plain cheating. He must have really hated her to go out there and spend her entire fortune on his mistress. It's interesting because he actually sort of helped Wendy build her empire in a way, because he was the executive producer of her show and her manager. Maybe that's why he felt he was entitled to everything she owned. Kevin apparently has been using Wendy's fortune for years to fund his cheating habits and excessive luxurious lifestyle. Wendy had always been so open about the fact that she loved her husband, but maybe that was all a defensive mechanism to mask what was really going on behind the scenes, because she does essentially talk about other celebrities' relationships for a living. Maybe that's why everything she'd said about celeb cheating scandals on her show was so spot on, because she knew firsthand what it was like. Wendy made it clear time and time again that she was never going to leave her husband and that they had such a strong marriage. It turns out that unfortunately Wendy's husband was in fact cheating, despite Wendy trying to clear up rumours time and time again. This gave Kevin the upper hand because he now had a get out of jail free card and was able to do literally anything he wanted without the repercussions of the media exposing him. Because when he did get exposed, Wendy would just defend him and make out like everything was just rumours.
You can believe what you want, but okay. I stand by my guy. We commuted this morning. The paparazzi was outside.
Kevin would then go out and spend all of Wendy's money on Sharina, his mistress. According to Showbiz cheat sheet, he put her through school to be a massage therapist. He opened a kiosk for her at a mall in North Carolina where she's from. He helped her set up a jewelry and clothing line online called Vish, but none of her businesses have been a success. Kevin Hunter's affair was revealed back in 2017, although Wendy Williams actually once admitted many years ago that her husband had been unfaithful to her before. The most recent scandal came about in 2017. Pics of Kevin Hunter and his mistress named Sharina Hudson emerged in gossip columns, with sources sharing that the two of them had been fooling around with one another for more than a decade. Amidst a lot of reports though, Wendy said that she was not leaving her husband. That was until she found out about the lavish vacations that Hunter had paid for his mistress to go on, which Sharina quite proudly showed off on her Instagram stories. Hunter also bought Sharina a $215,000 Ferrari with Wendy's money. And then of course the allegations that Hunter bought a home for Hudson near Wendy Williams' house in New Jersey started circulating. Apparently this house was nearly $1 million. He'd bought her the house in hopes that he could cheat in peace instead of being caught out in public by the paparazzi. So it turns out that the mistress was not happy that Wendy was still in the picture, despite her being the side piece and still getting spoiled 24/7 with Wendy's money. According to sources, Hunter's mistress has given her married boyfriend several ultimatums, insisting he leave Williams so that they can settle down and start a family together. However, Kevin kept refusing because he knew he wouldn't be able to spend as much of Wendy's money if they weren't still married. This is why he's been holding on for so long. But unfortunately, Wendy had been gaslit and manipulated so many times by the narcissist that she just kept denying the rumours and defended Kevin to her audience. That wasn't until the ultimate betrayal happened. Kevin had secretly welcomed a baby girl to his mistress, Sharina. As soon as Wendy found this out, it was game over for Kevin. Wendy absolutely lost it when this news came out. She relapsed and she was even admitted to hospital. Wendy's show went on break at this point in time. Kevin was also fired from being executive producer of her show, and rightfully so. But what about having access to her money? He'd lost his paychecks from the show, but was he still able to get a hold of her money? News broke in April 2019 that Wendy Williams filed for divorce, and then the even worse happened. Wendy was denied the right to her finances because her management believed that she wasn't in the right state of mind to be handling her own money.
Has no questions and answers with regarding my money. This is not fair.
But guess who was managing her finances though? Her ex-husband. Whilst Wendy was stuck in hospital and just overall recovering from a massive mental breakdown and relapsing, Kevin had the audacity to put an $80,000 ring on Sharina's finger. Sharina quite proudly boasted about her ring and wore it out and about everywhere, even though we all know damn well the money for that ring came directly from Wendy's hard work. Meanwhile, Wendy was suffering immensely with her physical and psychological health. This spun Wendy into an even deeper, darker mental state. Wendy's fans were quick to defend her and come for Sharina. Kevin Hunter been having this illicit affair for 10 plus years. ... His wife, that is Mistress, has been begging him to leave, just filed for divorce. Sharina can have him 100% soon enough, and watch her not want him anymore when it's all said and done. They never want you when you're free. That's too true. And Kevin has actually been cut off from Wendy in the past, so we knew that when Wendy got out of hospital, she was probably going to be in the right state of mind, meaning that Wendy was going to be able to cut him off for good. That's when Kevin lost it and decided to go on Instagram Live and attempt to expose Wendy. However, this backfired.
But I stand here today on September 17th, 2022, being 51 years old, after running through this, not just music industry, but this television industry for 11 years, and taking something that they would not give me. I had to take it to hold my people down. And I'm going to say this with pride and passion. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever bring the energy, the charisma, the passion, the expertise, the talent, and whatever else you want to call it, like you seen Kelvin Hunter and my ex, Wendy Williams, and the team that was behind us. And I mean the whole team. That includes my current lady now, because it takes a village. And I'm gonna say it, yeah, I said it. Whoever don't like it, they just ain't gonna like it.
People lost it because Kevin was making out like Sharina was the reason why Wendy's show was successful. Doesn't make sense, right? Kevin was grasping at straws during the divorce and wanted to get as much money as he could out of Wendy. So it turns out he was trying to request child and spousal support. The only thing is, their son is 19 years old. Apparently the money was going to help cover his son's tuition fees. He also wanted a straight 50-50 split of all her assets. Unfortunately, Wendy never signed a prenup with her ex-husband. In an interview with Sway, she'd stated, "I didn't think it would end, first of all. And second of all, that is not sexy to introduce paperwork when you're in love with somebody." Clearly, Kevin used her for money, and that's what everyone thinks. He's done her so dirty, and Wendy has sort of been downward spiraling since this divorce. What are your thoughts though on all this drama? Let me know in the comments.